The crypto DePIN sector is primed to be one of the biggest narratives of the next crypto bull cycle. Yet even within the crypto space, most people are completely unaware of it. So I wanted to share with you guys the top DePIN projects in the space, what they are, why I think that they're going to be one of the hottest narratives of the next bull run, and how high I think that they could go. Anyone around during the 2017 bull run can remember that DeFi wasn't a thing back then. People didn't talk about DeFi. There was no lending protocols. There was no DEXs or anything like that. Yet by next cycle in 2021, DeFi was the hottest narrative of the entire crypto market. There was new DeFi projects launching left and right, and they were running up to multi-billion-dollar valuations. So I wouldn't be surprised if this next cycle we saw something similar, where there was this completely new sector of crypto that came out of nowhere that was just a massive success and one of the hottest narratives of the 2024-2025 cycle. DePIN stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure, and the concept is really simple. Think of something like AWS, which is Amazon's cloud service. Despite Amazon being absolutely massive when it comes to online retail, a lot of people don't realize that the lion's share of Amazon's profits actually don't come from their online store. It comes from AWS. It's literally a money printing machine for Amazon, and just about nobody has the ability to compete outside of other large companies like Microsoft and Google. And the reason is building the physical infrastructure required to build a cloud service like Amazon has would literally cost billions of dollars. And typically that's not the kind of cash that most startups have access to. And this is where the DePIN sector is really interesting. They allow users to crowdsource their infrastructure from all over the world into one shared resource. It's sort of like Airbnb, but for storage, compute, and more. And this allows DePIN projects to launch a massive decentralized infrastructure at a fraction of the cost. Think of something like Airbnb. They were able to compete with these massive hotel chains at a fraction of the cost because they took a decentralized approach. It took Hilton 100 years to get to 584 properties all over the world. And it took Airbnb just 15 years to get to over 7 million properties all over the world. Decentralized coordination is powerful, and crypto and the blockchain at their core are a game-changing upgrade to the way people coordinate at scale in a decentralized manner. To put that in simple terms, blockchains help people all over the world coordinate together efficiently without the need for a central figure to manage that coordination. With Airbnb, that would be the company, the CEO, the board, all of the people that run Airbnb. They allow all of these properties all over the world to coordinate together in one big massive network. However, like any central figure, Airbnb is going to do what's best for them in their own bank account. But with the blockchain, that central figure, that central authority, is replaced with code. And the ones that make up the network, both the users and the host, instead become the owners and governors of that network. And currently in the DePIN space, there are projects that want to take on AWS and cloud storage. There are others that want to take advantage of all the unused and untapped GPU and compute on the planet. Some are building entire 5G networks owned and built by the community, and even others are attempting to build entire decentralized energy markets. So you can see why the DePIN sector could grow into a massive part of the crypto market and why it's worth paying attention to. And here are the top DePIN projects that I'm currently looking at going into the next bull run. But really quick, before we get to the top projects, if you're interested in staying up to date with the crypto market, by joining the Obsidian Council, you get access to monthly research on all the projects I'm looking at and investing into for the next bull run, airdrop guides, in-person meetups, free access to the Airdrop Masterclass course, which is a $299 course, access to the Node Operators course, which is a course that shows you how to operate nodes to earn free airdrops. As well as I'm about to launch my Ghost Tiger strategy course, which will sell for $2,000. But for anyone who joins the Obsidian Council before I launch it, they will be grandfathered in and get access completely free. There's a link in the description if you're interested in joining. Project number 1 is Akash. Akash is an open network that lets users buy and sell computing resources. Think Airbnb, but for computing. The goal was originally to allow users to buy and sell their own cloud storage. However, recently there's been a major upgrade in the works that has to do with GPUs and how they're used with AI. Right now, there's an insane demand for GPU as all these different companies are trying to build their own custom AI products. And keep in mind, that's just with today's models. As AI continues to scale and get more complex and get more robust, the demand for GPU is going to continue to increase over time. And that's not the only reason that it's expected for compute to become more and more scarce as time goes on. Everything from the metaverse to gaming to the Internet of Things requires more and more more compute as technology continues to scale. And this is where projects like Akash step in and fill that need. Akash taps into all the unused compute potential stored in everyone's GPUs all over the world. They allow users to rent out their GPU power, tapping into a wealth of previously inaccessible compute. Think of it this way, we currently have starvation in the world. There are people that starve to death in the world right now, yet in other countries, there are people that cannot finish the food on their plate and that food gets thrown in the trash. The reason is currently there's not a really efficient way to get that food from that plate to the people who need it the most. So we have this massive amount of inefficiencies that if we could solve those problems, we could end world hunger. Well, in the same way, all over the world, there's all this GPU that's unused, that's just being wasted. But being that all these computers have access to the internet, Akash has figured out a way to tap into all of this GPU and allow it to be used, massively ramping up the efficiency of all these GPUs and allowing people access to more compute than previously what they were able to access. I'm extremely bullish on this concept, and I believe that if projects like Akash are successful at achieving their vision, they're going to experience some insane upside during the next bull run. Number 2 is Filecoin. Filecoin is an open source cloud storage network. It allows users to rent out their unused extra hard drive space in exchange for earning rewards on the network. Its goal is basically to become a giant decentralized AWS. And currently, users can store data on the Filecoin network at significantly cheaper prices than they could store data on the AWS network. In fact, Filecoin is about 0.0015% of the cost of storing on AWS on average as of mid-2022. And remember, AWS is where Amazon makes most of its money, so the upside potential of something like this is actually pretty massive. Filecoin recently this year launched a major upgrade called the Filecoin Virtual Machine. This allows apps to be built on the Filecoin network around data, storage, and more, and potentially opens up an entirely new sector of use cases. Number 3 is Render. A few months ago, Nvidia had a legendary run-up in price, gaining $230 billion in market cap in a single day. That's as much as the entire market cap of Ethereum in a single day. And the reason for this insane run-up in price has to do with AI. AI requires an insane amount of compute. We talked about that a little bit earlier. And so does just about everything these days, which is why Render is potentially positioned for massive growth. Render is the brainchild of OTOY, the company behind Octane Render. Octane Render is a widely used product in the traditional VFX gaming as well as AR and VR spaces. And the idea behind Render is to tap into all the unused GPU, all the unused compute all over the world, similar to what Akash is trying to do. Currently, the way that companies use GPU is by building out their own machines in-house, but these machines aren't used 24/7. So the idea behind Render is that, like, hey, if these machines aren't being used all the time, what if we can connect all this unused GPU together and people could access it to go and render things? Just like Akash, I think that Render is primed for growth if it can successfully deliver on its vision. Number 4 is Livepure. 80% of all internet bandwidth today is currently used by video streaming. From YouTube to TikTok to Netflix to Twitch, video is the natural evolution of the web, and we can only expect it to be more and more prominent as time goes on. However, video is currently insane expensive to stream, and that has to do with the fact that transcoding video is very, very costly. And this acts as essentially a moat that keeps newer video startups from being able to scale, as usually their costs rise too rapidly before they're able to generate a sustainable revenue stream. Livepure is able to make video streaming up to 50 times cheaper by using a decentralized transcoding network. 50 times cheaper is a ridiculous advantage, and we all know that the market loves cheaper, faster, quicker. And so in my mind, if this is true, if they're able to genuinely offer up to 50 times cheaper transcoding speeds over, their competitors, over the legacy competitors, it's only a matter of time before Livepure absolutely blows up. And as always, none of this is investment advice. None of this is me telling you to go buy these things. You should always do your own research, and you should never just blindly copy someone on YouTube. If this video is helpful, make sure to hit that like button. If you have anything to add or any questions, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it to be notified each time I release a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.